Good morning, everybody. Richard here. Today in this video, I'm gonna be doing something which I think would be like pretty good, like for myself technically. Excuse me. Excuse me. So today in this video, I'm gonna be talking about a car which I have not been like doing for such a long time, like since I've been doing facts on European and Asian cars and the reliability ratings. I have not talked about like a car in general, like their history of like what happened to it and everything else, to the sponsoring the racing events or anything like that. So one of you's commented me if you've seen my YouTube video on like facts on European cars and like everything about that. One person actually commented me and saying, is it possible for me to do this car? And I figured now's the time I will do it. So the car that I'm gonna be talking about is the Toyota Corolla Levin Sprinter Trueno AE86. I'm saying this also so I don't speak too fast and mess up the words. Well, it's hot. I came prepared. It's important to stay warm. It's not that cold outside now. It feels a bit warmer right now, but it's alright. At least I got a jacket and scarf on at least. Getting quite close to winter. So yeah, let's get started. There we go. So yeah, the Toyota Corolla 11 Sprinter Trueno AE86. So let's get started on doing all information. I have done research like for like the past whole week. I've been doing this information, a lot of it, like, so I know everything about the car. Let's do it. The AE86 series of the Toyota Corolla 11 and Toyota Sprinter Trueno are small front-engine rear-wheel drive models. Within the front-engine front-wheel drive 5th generation Corolla E80 range marketed by Toyota from 1983 to 1987 in coupe and liftback configurations. Now let's talk about the overview of the car. So the manufacturer is obviously Toyota. The production was from May 1983 to 1987. Its model years 1984 to 1987, and its assembly is in Toyota City in Japan, where it's like a whole city owned by Toyota. That's crazy. The body and chassis. Now the class is a sport compact, which is just a sports car, sports coupe, well, sports hatchback I call it. The body style is a 2-door coupe. You can also get one as a 3-door liftback. Its layout, two versions there is. There's a front wheel drive. Wait, hold on. Whoa. I said it wrong, sorry. Its layout is front engine and rear wheel drive. Sorry, it took me so long to do it. I just can barely remember this. Its platform is E70. It's related to 3 Toyotas: the AE85, the Corolla E70, and the Sprinter E70. Now its powertrain has like, they're all 1.6 liter engines, because that's from the factory it is from. So it has a so engine, you can have one with a 1.6 liter 4A-C inline 4 SOHC engine, which you can get that in North America and Australia. And the 2 engines you can get from North America, you can get the 1.6 liter 4A-GEU inline 4 DOHC engine, or you can get the 1.6 liter 4A-GEC inline 4 DOHC engine. Transmissions you can get, two versions you can get is If you feel like you're a proper driver, if you feel like you're in control and everything else, you're doing well at driving, you're a proper one, you could get one with a T55 speed manual. Or if you're getting used to driving it and you're still learning, my advice, if you're still learning, you can get one with an A42 DL 4-speed automatic. Now the dimensions for the wheelbase is 2,400 millimeters, which is 94 inches. The length for the Corolla Levin, 4,185 millimeters, 165 inches, from 1983 to 1985. And also 4,200 millimeters, 165 inches, which is from 1985 to 1980, from 1985 to 1987. Sorry, my throat feels dry. There we go. Perfect. So yeah, length control level 4,185 millimeters, 165 inches, 1983, 1985. 4,200 millimeters, 165 inches, 1985 to 1987. Alright, so for the Sprinter Trueno, there is 4,205 millimeters, 166 inches, from 1983 to 1985. And 4,215 millimeters, so an extra 10 millimeters into it, 166 inches, same, from 1985 to 1987. In North America, it's 4,285 millimeters, an extra 70 millimeters, and 169 inches, extra 3 inches. The width is 1,625 millimeters, 64 inches. Height 1,335 millimeters. 1,335 millimeters, 53 inches. The curb weight is 900 to 1,045 kilos, which is pretty light. And also 1,984 to 2,304 pounds, which is also lightweight. Its chronology, its predecessor, the Toyota Corolla Levin Sprinter Trueno TE71, and its successor, the Toyota Corolla Levin Sprinter Trueno AE92. Now, let's get to the important part, the important stuff. Lending themselves to racing, the cars were light, affordable, easily modifiable, and combined a 5-speed manual transmission, optional limited slip differential, McPherson strut front suspension, high revving at 7,800 RPMs, twin cam engine with oil cooler, near 50-50 front rear weight balance, and more importantly a front engine rear drive layout. Sorry, I ran into the next page. Widely popular for showroom stock, Group A, and Group N rally and club racing, the car's inherent qualities also earned the AE86 an early and enduring international prominence in the motorsport discipline of drifting. The AE86 was featured centrally in the popular long-run Japanese manga and anime series titled Initial D from 1995 to 2013 as the main character's drift and tofu delivery car. In 2015, Road and Track called the AE86 a cult icon. They called the AE86 a cult icon in inextricably, I don't know what that means, but it took a long time for me to research. Interwoven with the earliest days of drifting, the AE86 would go on to inspire the Toyota AT6 2012. Present, a 2+2 sports car jointly developed by Toyota and Subaru, manufactured by Subaru and marketed also as the Toyota GT86, Toyota FT86, Scion FRS, and Subaru BRZ. In November 2021, Toyota temporarily restarted the production of a limited number of parts from the AE86, and dealers began taking orders for new steering knuckle arms and rear brake calipers. Rear axle half shafts have also been scheduled for new production. Toyota also announced that this reboot is temporary, and parts will be available only as long as stocks last. Now the nameplate Trueno, those it is in brackets, derives from the Spanish word for thunder, and Levin derives from the Middle English for lightning. In Japan, the Sprinter Trueno was exclusive to Toyota Japan dealerships called TAS, Toyota Auto Store, while the Corolla Levin was exclusive to TCS, Toyota Corolla Store. The name AE86 derives from Toyota's internal code during the car's development, designating the 1600cc rear-wheel drive model from the 5th generation of the Corolla. Alright. In Toyota's code language, the A designates the car's engine, 4A series, E designates Corolla, 8 designates 5th generation E80 series, and 6 designates the variant within this generation. The AE86 is also called the Hachiruko, Japanese for 86. Similarly, the AE85 was commonly called Hachigo, meaning 85. Bracketing a minor external facelift, models marketed between 1983 and 1985 are called Zenki. Those from the early period, and those marketed from 1986 to 1987 are called Kuki, lit by the later period. In 1986, Toyota marketed a limited edition model of the AE86 as the Black Limited model. Alright, now that's the what was this one? The chronology. That's the overview, body and chassis, powertrain, the dimensions, and the chronology. Now, anyway, the name is done. Now let's get to the engine and technical parts. One. Here we go. The AE86 was available with a naturally aspirated 4A GE 1587cc 1.6 liter 96.8 cubic inch inline 4 engine, a DOHC 4-valve per cylinder motor in Japan and Europe, which was also used in the first generation MR2G Limited AW11, Corona GT AT141, Celica 1600 GTR AA63, and Carina 1600 GT AA63, that's in Japan only, with a compression ratio of 9.4 to 1. It had a maximum SAE gross power output of 130 PS, 96 kilowatts, which is 128 horsepower, at 6,600 RPM and 110 pound-feet of torque, which is 149 newton meters of torque in European terms, at 5,200 RPMs, 5,200 RPMs, if it was easy, of torque in standard form, though it was later downrated to 120 PS, 88 kilowatts, 118 horsepower. At 105 pound-feet of torque, 142 newton meters. In net output. The 4AGE engines used in the AE86 and AW11 were also equipped with Denso electronic port fuel injection and T-VIS variable intake geometry. In North America, a modified 4A-GEC engine was used to comply with California emissions regulations, Power was rated at 112 horsepower, 114 PS, 84 kilowatts, at 100 pound-feet of torque, 136 newton meters of torque. The AE86 used ventilated disc brakes. The car was equipped with a McPherson strut-style independent suspension at the front and a 4-link live axle with coil springs for the rear, as well as stabilizer bars, front and rear, and optional LSD. The AE86 came with a 5-speed manual gearbox and later came with the option of an automatic, which I'm not a fan of automatics. I hated automatics. I used to like them, but now, growing up, I literally hate automatics because they're much heavier than the manual gearbox. So for proper drivers, I would go with the manual. That's my better option. Alright. Higher spec American AE86 models, known as the Sport GTS, featured the DOHC 4A-GEC engine. Also had 4-wheel disc brakes, color-matched bumpers, front lower bumper surround with a much more sporty and pronounced lip, molded door panels, tachometer redline at 7,500 RPM, leather-wrapped steering wheel, seats with leather-wrapped tops. Front seats are completely different from Sport SR5. Optional LSD, limited slip differential, and aluminum wheels. The chassis code in the VIN of the GTS is AE88 for North American market cars. Lower spec American A86 SR5 models used the 1587cc 1.6 liter 4A-C SOH unit. The SR5's rear end was a non-LSD with drum brakes. The SR5 model also had the softer suspension and small styling and interior changes, such as seats, gauge cluster, door panels, unpainted matte black front and rear bumpers. The lower part of the front bumper surround is shorter and flat, and its chassis code and the VIN differs as well, being AE86 for the SR5 model for North American market cars. Model equipped with the 4AGE engine received a 6.7-inch 170mm rear differential, while 3A-U only offered on the AE85. 4AU and 4AC models received a smaller, weaker 6.3-inch 162mm rear differential. The AE86 SR5 4AC equipped had an optional 4-speed automatic transmission alongside the 5-speed manual. That one's better. However, the GTS model with the 4A-GE DOHC engine only came with a standard 5-speed manual gearbox, which is just better in every way. Alright. Alright. Sorry. One of the staff who was behind the car's engineering work was Nobuaki Katayama, who would later head the company's motorsport department and who would become chief engineer of the Altezza project a decade later. He has a photo of an AE86 hung in his office. Next is the body styles. The Levin and Trueno featured fixed headlights and retractable headlights, respectively. Let me start again. I feel like I can't properly speak. The Levin and Trueno featured fixed headlights and retractable headlights, respectively, with both available as compact or coupe. Well, just hatchback and coupe. Not hatchback or coupe. There we go. God, I can't speak. I haven't been doing a video for a long time, so sorry about that. I was just real busy. And I also had exams in college as well. Alright, the export model named Corolla applies to both variations. The A86, along with the lower spec 1452cc 1.5 liter 88.6 cubic inch engine, AE85 and 1587cc 1.6 liter 96.8 cubic inch engine had for the SR5 versions was rear-wheel drive, built on the rear-wheel drive E70 Corolla platform. Same wheelbase length, interchangeable parts, etc. Unlike the front-wheel drive E80 models in the same range, from 1983 to 1985 there was the Corolla Levin GT5 liftback, that's in Japan, the Corolla Levin GT Coupe with alternative optional grille, which is also in Japan, and the Corolla Levin GT Coupe, which is also in Japan. The initial D replica of the 1985 to 1983 to 1985 Sprinter Trueno GT liftback, Japan. 1983 to 1985 Sprinter Trueno GT Apex liftback, Japan. The 1984 to 1985 Sprinter Trueno A85 A86 Coupe taillights, Japan. And the 1983 Corolla 3-door liftback, the A86, in the UK. Minor bodywork changes were made in 1985, which resulted in different taillights, front rear bumpers, corner and headlight trim lights, and grills are the main difference for both AE85, 86, Levin and Trueno Coupe and liftback models. Oh god, we've got the years again. 1985 to 1987. All of them are Toyota Corolla 11 GT Apex liftback, Japan. Coupe 11 taillights on the Corolla Sport SR5 Coupe, that's in the US. Sprinter Trueno GT Apex Coupe and the Sprinter Trueno Coupe and liftback. Next up, models specifications. In Japan, the DOHC 4A GEU AE86 was offered in GT, GT5, and GT Apex, well, GTV, well, same thing, GT5 and GT Apex trims as the Corolla 11 or Sprinter Trueno. In North America, the top spec DOHC 4A GEC was sold as the Corolla Sport GTS, which with with AE86 on the build plate in the engine bay, but AE88 in the VIN, with the SOHC 4AC being sold as the Corolla Sport SR5 with AE86 on the build plate and in the VIN. Both versions were sold with Trueno pop-up headlights and Levin taillights, and had longer bumpers in the front and rear. Euro spec models were sold as the Corolla GT with DOHC engines and fixed Levin style headlights. Australian models were sold as the Toyota Sprinter, also with fixed Levin headlights but with Trueno taillights. The Middle East received the same basic model as the North American market with Trueno pop-up headlights, Levin taillights, and the regulated 5 miles per hour, 8 km/h bumpers. The lightest AE86 is the Japanese 2-door GT model, which weighs around 900 kilos, 1,984 pounds, which is pretty lightweight. And obviously, lighter cars do accelerate faster than heavier cars. Well, for a little bit. It has the same exterior as the GT5 trim, but with the interior of the AE85 with the exception of the gauges, and is equipped with rear drum brakes. North American AE86 specifications. All of them are from 1983 to 1987. Corolla Sport GTS liftback, US Coupe in Canada, and another Coupe in Canada the one from Canada is from 1983 and from 1985. Then we got the 1983 to 1987 Corolla Sport SR5 liftback in the US, and the same one but from 1985 to 1987 Corolla Sport SR5 liftback US. There are 3 types of Corolla Sport rear-wheel drive for the US market: the DX, the SR5, and the GTS. Although the DX was generally an internal Toyota designation, as brochures and advertising don't include the DX designation, it consisted of a lower trim level, lighter duty suspension, parts, and the like. Model years of production 1983 to 1987 versions: DX, SR5, and GTS 85 plus only. Drag coefficient of CD is 0.39. Note that the VIN and the chassis code don't match for all models. DX and SR5 specifications. First 7 characters of VIN: JT to AE85 for the DX, or for the SR5, there's the JT to AE86. The chassis code AE86, which may differ from the VIN. Horsepower 87, 65 kilowatts, 88 PS at 4,800 RPM. Torque 115 Newton meters, 85 pound-feet at 2,800 RPM. Weight approximately 2,200 to 2,300 pounds. 998 to 1,043 kilos. Yeah, kilograms. Engine there is the 4AC 1587cc 1.6 liter 96.8 cubic inch engine. Engine type SOHC 8 valve inline 4 carbureted. So yeah, there's 2 different types of transmissions, manual and auto. On the manual transmission, you can get one with a T50 6-bolt flywheel 5-speed. An automatic transmission, you can get one with an A42DL 4-speed overdrive with lock-up torque converter, mechanically controlled with electronically engaged overdrive. Compression 9.0 to 1, differential 6.38 inches, 162 millimeters, open with 4.10 to 1 ratio, 2 pinion, automatic, S292, or 3.91 to 1 ratio, 4 pinion, 5-speed manual, S314. Wheels, tires 13 by 5 inches plus 33 millimeter offset rims with 185 70 R13 tires. Now the GTS specifications. First 7 characters have been JT2 AE88. Yeah, JT2 AE88. I can't speak properly. What is wrong with me? Alright. Chassis code AE86, which differs from the VIN. Horsepower 112, 84 kilowatts, 114 PS, 6,600 RPM. Torque 132 Newton meters, 97 pound-feet at 4,800 RPMs. The weight approximately 2,200 to 2,300 pounds, 998 to 1,043 kilos. Engine 4AGE 1587cc 1.6 liter 96.8 cubic inch. Engine type DOHC 16 valve inline 4 AFM multi-port fuel injection with TVIS transmission, T50 8-bolt flywheel 5-speed. Injector size approximately 180 cc's, 11 cubic inch, low impedance. Compression 9.4 to 1, differential 6.7 inches, 170 millimeters, open T282 or optional LSD T283 with 4.30 to 1 ratio 2 pinion. Wheels, tires 14 by 5.5 27 millimeter offset rims with 185 /60 R14 82H tires and 195 /60 R14 85H tires for the A86 models. 86 plus models, the AE86 in motorsports. While in production, the AE86 was a popular choice for showroom stock, Group A and Group N racing, especially in rallying and circuit racing. After production ended, many private teams continued to race the AE86, and it remains a popular choice for rallying and club races today. Part of the continued appeal of the AE86 for motorsports is its rear-wheel drive configuration, not available in most newer lightweight cubes. In Group A touring car races, the car either dominated the lower category where eligible, or fought it out with Honda Civics or the later AE92s and AE101s, whilst maintaining its competitiveness. In Ireland, where rallying is considered one of the most popular forms of motorsport, as organizing regulations are more relaxed comparing to that of other countries, the AE86 was popular when new, and remains so popular that teams will purchase cars from the UK due to local shortages. The A86 is also popular for rallying for rally use in Finland, where the cars can be competitive in the F Cup competition for nationally aspirated two-wheel drive cars. Okay, next. I still got more. So, the AE86 was entered in the European Touring Car Championship from 1984 to 1988 with a 150 horsepower, 112 kilowatt 4AG EU engine. In 1986, it beat the BMW M6, BMW 325i E30, Volvo 240 Turbo, Mazda 929, Alfa Romeo 75 Turbo V6, and the Mercedes 190e 2.3 16 valve to win the Manufacturers' Championship with 267 points, surpassing the 1986 Drivers' Championship Schnitzer Motorsport BMW M6. In 1986 and 1987, Chris Hodgetts, I don't know how you say that, it's spelled Hodgetts, I don't know how to say that, won the BTCC, British Touring Car Championship, beating the V8 Rover SD1's Ford Sierra Cosworths. Beating the V8 Rover SD1's Ford Sierra Cosworths and BMW 3 Series D30 M3s 2 years running for an overall points victory, driving an AE86 for Toyota in this country, in Britain, GB PLC, and his own race prep team, CHMS. The semi-factory supported craft team entered the space frame Trueno in the JTTC for the GT300 regulations in 1999. The Trueno used a Dallara F3 chassis and was powered with a 35-GTE engine that came from a SW20 MR2 turbo that produces about 224 kilowatts, which is 300 horsepower, which is a lot for a car like that, in a car that's super lightweight. Despite being popular with the fans, the car had minor success and was abandoned from use halfway through the 2001 season after the A86 was destroyed when it burst into flames in the third round of the season at Sugo. Kraft subsequently replaced it with a newly delivered Toyota MRS. The rear-wheel drive configuration combined with the AE86's lightweight, approximately 2,300 pounds, 950 to 970 kilos, curb weight, balanced and relatively powerful and easy to tune 4A-GEU engine made it popular among the Japanese Hashiriya street racers in Japan, many of whom raced in Touge, I think it's called, Touge, mountain passes in Japan. well, mountain passes in Japanese, where the corners suited the AE86 best, especially on the downhill. Among those who utilized this car was Japanese racing legend Keiichi Tsuchiya, also known as the Drift King, Dorikin in Japanese. Keiichi Tsuchiya helped popularize the sport of drifting, which involves taking a car on a set of controlled slides through corners. The AE86's FR configuration made it well suited to this kind of cornering, and currently the car is a mainstay of drift shows and competitions. We got a few pages left of this information. Japanese drifters like Katsuhiro Ueno, Toshiki Yoshioka, Yoichi Imamura, Koichi Yamashita, Hiroshi Takahashi, Tetsuya Hibino, and Wataru Hayashi were also involved in making the AE86 famous in the drift scene. AE86s around the world have been extensively modified for use in professional drifting. In popular culture, now this is the last one. In popular culture, here we go. The AE86 is considered as an icon cultural symbol. Yeah, the AE86 is considered as an iconic cultural symbol in Japanese popular culture, following its inclusion in the Initial D anime and manga. The main character, Takumi Fujiwara, uses his father's AE86 Trueno GT Apex Compact for racing and making his tofu deliveries. Takumi's friend Itsuki Takeuchi drives an AE85 Levin. Throughout the series, two of Takumi's opponents drive AE86s. Wataru Akiyama, who drives a turbocharged, later supercharged AE86 Levin, and Shinji Inui, who drives the notchback coupe version of the AE86 Trueno. The AE86 sorry, loud noise there. The AE86 is also a playable vehicle in the Initial D arcade stage series. The popularity of Initial D is cited as the main cause of the car's high resale price, which is often referred to as Takumi tax or tofu tax, after the main character and his tofu delivery occupation respectively. Alright, here we go. In the 2001 film The Fast and the Furious, a red Corolla AE86 can be briefly seen in the background waiting in line to enter race wars. Anyway, and also the AE86 also made minor cameos in The Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift and Fast and Furious, the fourth one. So yeah, the Tokyo Drift AE86 can be seen where Sean was like racing against Morimoto. Sean was in the Evo, Morimoto was in the 350Z. That was just before Sean was at the finish line. And then in the fourth Fast and Furious movie, which is Fast and Furious, at the beginning, you can see on the right hand corner on this side that there is a black AE86 Trueno racing against a Ford Cosworth RS200. Alright, so that is all the information I got for this car. So this took me a long time to do research, so sorry I've not been filming this. I've been doing a lot about this car. It took me like forever just to do that, but like a week I've been doing this. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. So if you guys like this video, Comment down below what you think. Like the video, subscribe, and comment down below of what other cars I should do research about. So it doesn't matter if it has to be like, I don't know, American, Asian, or European. Just do any kind of like super cool car, like any sports car, anything like that. Just tell me what I should do. I'll do research about that, and I'll do a video about that next car if I have time to do it, depending on how long this information is technically. Whereas this was really long. I had to know everything about the car. So yeah, I gotta get going right now. So yeah, like I said, like the video, subscribe, comment down below what you guys think, and comment about what car I should do research about next. Alright, so that'll be it. Hope you guys like this video. Stay tuned for my next video. If I have time, like, to do it, I might. So yeah, so stay safe, everybody. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys in my next car information video. Goodbye, guys.